Good morning. You need to come in now. Guys, today we are going to look back at mine and Ember's eventing season from this year, because I thought, well, the eventing season's over. Ember is well and truly on holiday, aren't you, mate? Yeah, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to have a look back month by month and see how we got on. He says, I'm bored. Can you put me in for my breakfast now? Yeah, I will, darling. So sit back, relax, have a cup of tea, and I'll see you on the other side. So we kicked off the year January with a arena eventing competition. I think this was our highlight. This was actually his first time in an arena eventing competition, and I think we did the 70 and the 80. I think this was the 80 class, but it was still very trying to get the miles under his belt and just getting him exposed to lots of different environments at this stage, because it was still, we hadn't refined our technique, and as you can see here, he still finds things a bit new and needs to understand the question a little bit more, hence why he had a little sneaky run out there, because he was like, what the heck is that fence? And same again. But the thing is, it was just, I wasn't doing the competitions for the results at this stage. It was, as I say, to get the miles under the belt, because it's a long process, these ex-race horses, but I was super chuffed with him, how he performed here. Then moving swiftly on to February, and this was our first cross-country schooling session of the year, going to my favourite place, Little Downham, because he always jumps really nicely here. You can see he's still got, at this stage, very excited and quite stressed about jumping new things, so hence why I was trying to jump them in trot, because I learnt from the months previous to this that he is quite fast and he can take off with you. So jumping at a trot just was trying to teach him to wait, but I can't fault his enthusiasm, even though it's still relatively new, hence why, again, jumping very small fences, but it's amazing to see the difference, how he's still very much firing. So you can see there, he just wants to go as quick as he can at his own pace, which now I like to say that I've got a little bit more control. So it's interesting looking back here. I think this is actually the occasion we followed Jess and Jim over this, and he was like, okay, I can go now, bye. But yeah, I knew that he was keen, and it's just, you don't really want to be going into every fence like that. So he still had the tendency to overcook himself and nap, still very much in the nappy stage, but Little Downham doesn't really nap as much, but you can see the head, there's lots of head tilting. He has always got his teeth out, guys. He will always just go like that. That is not because he's, you know, in pain, whatever. He is a thoroughbred. Lots of thoroughbreds do that. But the head tilting and the bouncing and the leaping is all kind of, it's when he finds it a bit much and kind of needs to feel like he can escape in some way. He obviously didn't understand that question, because then the next time I jumped it, he was totally fine. So at this stage of the year, we were obviously still had our teething issues, but that was fine, and it was to be expected with our first cross-country session. But I remember editing on a positive note, and I was chuffed with him. But yeah, it was a bit erratic. Our first one-day event, and coming back to the scene of the crime where we had our terrible one-day event the October previous, and it was mad. He was a bit crazy, but we did get round. I think there was some napping. Well, actually, there was definitely napping, but we did actually finish, so that was a positive. This, however, we went to a pairs hunter trial in April, and he was so nappy. He didn't quite get the pairs vibe, but I might just let you listen for a bit, actually.
And this is where he says, no, Mum. Good boy, good boy. Right, you go first. You got to go first. Nope, you got to grab me again. Come on. Go on. Okay. Come on! Ember, you little...
So this was a really interesting day for me and very educational because we obviously realised that having another horse there didn't make any difference whatsoever. He wasn't going to follow, but it was like as if something switched in his head. He's very, very sensitive to how you ride in terms of what your hands are doing. And I think from watching this back now, when I do the wide hands, I think he relates that back to the track, because when you're on a racehorse and you try and get them to go faster, you change your hands, which means you're basically grabbing them up. And so I have a theory that he's relating that back to, I don't know, back to his racing days. And obviously he packed in the racing. He didn't want to do it anymore. So, but you can see when he's going, he's really loving it. So we just had to revert back to the drawing board, unfortunately. So May, we were keeping the momentum up with the cross-country schooling. Obviously, guys, I don't just jump. I do flat work and hacking, and he has a very varied life. I'm just showing you the highlights, otherwise this vlog would be about 18 years long. So you can see here, this is an example of him still napping, and I am just trying to keep calm and carry on. And he actually ended up going rather well in the end. Of this session, but he is just a little bit complicated, and I remember thinking at this stage, is he ever going to go? But perseverance is key, and I think Justine and I worked on this quite a lot. There's Justine there on Lady. So yeah, it was a case of persevering. So anyone with a nappy horse out there, just persevere. And hopefully they do break through. Anyway, this was the first time ever that I fell off Ember, because look at me here, so carefree, cantering through the long grass, and then he spooks at a flat patch and I go flying, which is very, very embarrassing.
I was just letting him have a nice foaling canter, and the grass changed. And he just, I don't know if you got it on camera. But, yeah, I did. Oh my god. He just went, and that's the first time I've fallen off him, but lovely soft landing. Oh, God.
So I was fine, so I got back on and carried on the session. And actually, he jumped really well after this. There was no napping. He popped over everything. And we did some 70, 80, and we did a 90 fence. Now, it's not pretty. I still haven't discovered the joy of a martingale here. And I'm still using my flexi bar bit, which he just doesn't respect whatsoever. And in hindsight, I think I was very brave going essentially in a snaffle. And you can see he just gets so keen. That's when his head flies up in the air. And as I said, with Ember, there is a knack to riding this horse, and it's a combination of being soft, very trusting, and yeah, a little bit mad. You've got to be a little bit mad to ride him, which is why I think Justine got on so well with him. But yeah, I was really happy with this session, and it was a good step forward, even though we did still have some napping. But you know, coming back to this place where we had the napping at the event, it always helps, and I recommend it. If you have a problem at a competition, I always recommend try and go schooling there, just so you can face those demons. June, we went to Valeview for arena eventing, and actually, fun fact, guys, this was the first time that Rob came to help me, and he was filming, and you guys didn't know. I think Ember is an arena eventing horse. He loves a surface. Look at these fences, decent size, and he was great actually. There was a show going on next door, didn't affect him, and yeah, we had a nice little play around this playground. But sadly, July was the month where I was in hospital, and then I didn't ride really at all because I couldn't. Luckily, Justine was riding Ember, keeping him ticking over. By the time August came around, it was, well, kind of the middle of August, was it? I was back in the saddle, and this was Swipe Up Kick On filming, which was fantastic. I've realised I haven't really showed you any of his flat work progress in this video. Because most of our problems were with the napping and the jumping. He's quite consistent in the flat work, I would say. And actually, through the whole process of the filming, he was an absolute joy to ride. Didn't put a foot wrong. Stabled really well. In fact, I think he was the best behaved out of everyone's horses. Sorry, guys. So, of course, experience-wise, he was the least experienced, but that, I think, makes great TV. So if you want to watch Horse and Country Swipe Up Kick On Series 3, it's actually live on Saturday, 25th of November. But yeah, he was a good boy, and I was super chuffed. And it was a good stepping stone for, this was still August actually, this was our one-day event that we did at Blackwater Farm. So, putting all of our hard work into practice, we were doing the unaffiliated 70, which I thought would be a good one because I wanted to get round. I've realised that height's not really a problem for Ember. I mean, we're still very much working on our techers, jumping wise, but he was a star. That was our first clear round show jumping and our first clear cross country, and it was fast, and we won, which was great. We won our one-day event. So, how's that for a turnaround? September, I thought I'd crank it up a notch and have a go at our first Go BE80. So this was actually a BE event, which you can tell because the fences look really big. I don't know what's happened to me. I think 80 looks huge now. Very happy at this height. Anyway, he was mental in this show jumping, like so crazy. It was a really hot day, and he had like 3 down, I think. But yeah, he was just vibing, and especially on the cross country as well. Definitely vibing on the cross country. I nearly passed out after. I actually lost my vision after my round. I remember being like, Justine, you're going to have to catch me because I cannot see anything, because I'd exerted so much energy trying to slow him down, and this was our downfall actually. We had so many time penalties. Everyone was like, oh, I bet you'd be so fast. No, I'm trying to set him up for every fence so I don't die by crashing into them because I'm galloping. So yeah, that's why we're slow, because I haven't at this stage hadn't found a rhythm yet where I could comfortably be. So that's why October, last event of the season, I decided that because I did not want to event in October because it is cold and I didn't want to clip him also because I knew that he was going to have a holiday after this. So we came for a hunter trial at Isleham. This was Isleham, yeah. And we did the 70 or 80. Ooh, good question. One of the two. I can't remember. I think it was 70. Anyway, he was so good. We got an amazing rhythm the whole way round. I had control. He was still goey, of course he was. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, we've ended the season on the best note ever. I was so happy with him. Oh my gosh, it's like completely transformed. Look at that, guys. Look at that rhythm. Oh, I was so chuffed with him. Very, very good end to the season.
back and I wonder what 2024 has in store. But for us, hey, we've got we've got another month of holiday, at least. I think I'm going to bring him back after Christmas. So another lovely month of holiday. And then we're going to start thinking about bringing him back into work. Now, I had a visitor a couple of days ago from my wonderful sponsors at Red Mills. So yeah, and I wanted to, I know a lot of you are always invested in how I keep Ember looking so good. And well, I'm going to share it with you guys because, you know, I care. Everyone, this is Georgia from Red Mills. I'm sorry, we've got this fun...
Do I need to hold it?
You can hold it.
But oh, look at all these lovely, 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 lovely bags of Horsecare Ultra Cubes. Woo! Right, guys, so I've got Ember out here because Georgia, actually, fun fact, has never met any of my horses. So she's here in Norfolk today and is going to be basically, well, and not analysing, basically taking a look at each of them and seeing their overall body conditioning score generally, and hopefully we're on the right track with our feeding. Thank you. Nice little fart there.
Hi guys, so I'm Georgia and I'm here today with Lucy. We are going to be assessing Ember. This is the first time that I've seen him in person. So I'm just gonna have, you know, a feel of him sort of from head to tail, if you like. Here we're just, you know, having a feel of his top line and his muscle definition. We know that he's been on holiday. He probably has lost some muscle. We're also just, you know, feeling generally, and I'll do this with anything from horses to ponies, just to make sure that, you know, they're not too cresty and there's nothing that's too firm there. Then as I just feel over the ribs, ideally I want to be able to feel the ribs nice and easily. I don't really want to see them, and you know, I don't want to see too many fat pockets sort of behind the shoulder here. So I'm just having a nice feel of Ember's ribs. I can feel them nice and easily. Typically in a thoroughbred you will often see the outline. It's never a huge concern, but also going into the winter with thoroughbreds, we don't want them too lean because quite often they will drop off. So, you know, with Ember, Lucy's just said, oh gosh, he's been on holiday. I feel like he's holding his weight in his gut quite a lot, which again is quite common, but I'm not concerned. He's not laying down any fat pockets. I can feel his ribs nice and easily. Again, his top line over his back, yes, you know, we can get away with building him up a little bit, but that is going to come with work and time, as well as having, you know, good quality protein in the diet, and we can talk about that a little bit later. And then just going behind him as well, we want him well balanced. He's got a well-defined croup. You know, he's not laying down any fat pockets. He's well muscled. Again, we do want him to build up a little bit just over his hindquarters here, but that is also going to come with time, work and the correct nutrition as well. So yeah, overall, I'm super happy and he looks well. So we're here with our Connolly's Red Mills Horsecare Ultra Cubes, which is the main component of Ember's hard feed. We decided when Lucy had Ember that this would be most suitable for him because he came to Lucy as a typical thoroughbred. He was quite highly strung, he was quite hot, he didn't need anything heating. Now this is our completely cereal grain free product, so it's nice, low in starch and sugar, so we thought it would be most suitable for him. But also Ember had a previous history of ulcers, so we wanted to keep, you know, starch levels low. We also wanted to just provide him with a bit of gut support to just sort of make sure that we're looking after his digestive system. So also within the product, we have a care package. Now the Ultra Care cubes are conditioning. We've got generous levels of a good quality protein in here. So we use a soy protein, and this is a 14% product. Now, this was important for Ember because he is doing quite a bit of work, and we also wanted to make sure that through that workload, we were helping to build up his top line and also to help maintain his condition. You know, typical thoroughbreds, we do find that they need slightly higher calorie feeds, and this was perfect because it would give Ember the good quality protein that he needed, but without the energy. Now, the care package in there that we've included is a combination of supplements, if you like, really generous levels of live yeast in there. We've also got prebiotic. Now, this helps to support the hindgut and it helps to keep the bacteria in the hindgut nice and happy and healthy. We've also put a stomach acid buffer in there. Now, this is the one that was probably most important for Ember because that helps to support his stomach. It brings down the pH levels of the stomach acid. We've also included some electrolytes to help support the general performance horse. And we've included therapeutic levels of a hoof supplement. So you've got biotin in here as well. Particularly useful for Ember because, as Lucy's just pointed out, we take his shoes off when he's on holiday. So when we have his shoes put back on, the biotin in there is just going to help to support his hoof quality whilst we get him back into work. And again, being a typical thoroughbred, their hoof quality isn't always great. So it's just going to help to support him in that sense as well.
Right guys, welcome to my feed room. Feed bowl. So first he has a scoop of, you guessed it, the Horse Care Ultra Cubes. Now I thought I'd give you a little look so you can see what they look like. Ooh, nice. They smell like horse feed too. So you get a scoop of that. I give him a scoop of this. It's basically alfalfa, very simple, like that goes in there. And then I don't like to overcomplicate things because guys, the Horse Care Ultra Cubes, they have, as Georgia so kindly explained, they've got the care package in. So I don't need to be chucking bits here and there in. It's so simple, which is great because I like an easy life. I also work with Foreign Equine as well, and they do some fantastic supplements which help with maintenance and often like preventative things. For example, they have the NutriCalm, which Ember is on when he's in full eventing mode, because as you guys know, he can get a little bit spicy, and I just like a little something extra. Even though this is non-heating, this is just a little bit extra so that I can kind of just to take the edge off. And it's not for those kind of stressful situations, it's for more kind of everyday, just to kind of lower his stress levels. Hopefully I can see him in the background being like, there's food here. And then, again, on the kind of preventative measures, we have the Ostoflex, which is their joint supplement. He doesn't have any issues with his joints at the moment, which is why I'm feeding it as a preventative. Now, lots of people will be like, well, that's stupid. If, you know, he doesn't have anything wrong with him, why are you feeding him it? Well, prevention is key. We all know that with horses. It's all about, you know, that's just the way it goes. So I like to feed him that as well. So he gets a pump of this, poof, and a pump of that when he's in work. And then I also put a scoop of water in to wash it all down with. And hey presto. Oh, my darling. Back you go. Everyone, because he's not the best at this. There we go. I'm just going to chuck it everywhere.
I am the nutritional specialist for the East of England, hence why I look after Lucy. I go right up to sort of Lincolnshire, Nottingham, and I go right down to the Berkshire region. So if you've got any questions, any nutritional queries whatsoever, you can get in touch with Lucy, who will refer you to myself. Or if you're not in one of those regions, you can just go onto our website and get in touch with us via our nutritional helpline. So you can either write in a message as a query, or you can give us a call and speak to one of our nutritionists at our head office, or they will just direct you to someone that's in your area that can come out onto your yard and meet your horses in person.
Bonnie, don't beg. So she doesn't beg. Bonnie, back. Good girl. Come here then. Yeah. Should we try and do we're working on this one, guys. We're working on the paw. This one. And this one. Ta-da! Ta-da! If you have any questions, I mean, you can fire them at me and I'll just pass them on because I'm the middleman. But yeah. Red Mills has always been my go-to for all my horses. I don't just feed Ember on it, Lara's fed on it. Bonnie, when she's in the summer, sometimes if I feel like she needs a little bit extra because she's on no grass, she gets the balancer. That's a whole different kettle of fish, which we're not going to go into today because we don't have time because it's getting dark and Georgia needs to go home.
Another episode.
So let's everyone say goodbye to Georgia and we'll see her soon.
Thank you, bye.